everyone. Welcome to King of the West Tonight. We are a weekly webcast on all the latest news, updates, and highlights from the King of the West Sprint Car Series and the local sprint car community. My name's Gary Thomas, and back this week after a little sickness last week, our co-host George Haig.
Hey, I'm awake. That's a good sign.
That's good.
I woke up, I'm awake, so we can do that. Hey, tonight we got a trio of interviews. Troy Hennig, voice of Silver Dollar Speedway, and of course, a PR extraordinaire up there at the Silver Dollar Speedway. Woody Croft, one of the KWS drivers, top 6.
Yep.
And Zach Zimmerly, back in California. I know you had a great interview with Zach Zimmerly.
Yeah, 3 good interviews, and of course, along those lines, we're also going to show the 2006 Pombo Sargent Classic at the Tulare Thunderbolt Raceway. Just an epic 2 nights of racing. I think the weather was about 115 degrees, but not only hot in the air, but hot in the pits, hot on the track.
How apropos. It's sponsored by Kading Performance.
Absolutely.
And I think that might have been a Kading victory that weekend.
We keep talking about the Kadings now. The Howard Kading Classic is next up in our timeline for recapping 2012. As we gear up for the season finale on October 13th, we're going to take a look back at July 7th, Howard Kading Classic at the Ocean Speedway in Watsonville. Great main event between John Allard, Tommy Tarleton, and Shane Golobic. A great 3-car race for the lead.
Hey, California winners this weekend. Brad Furr picking up his first win at Ocean Speedway.
Yeah, first win since 2004 in California, so very cool to see. I know Brad was very emotional in victory lane, almost crying, almost in tears. Definitely want to congratulate him, crew chief Kenny Thorpe, his father Randy Furr. Just a great bunch of guys, and we really missed him on the King of the West Series, so we hope to see him next year.
Hey, I saw Selzy's name in the winner's circle at Hanford. I didn't know that was the drag strip.
Yeah, that's that 15-year-old kid, Dominic Selzy.
Oh, Gary's son. That's right. Went in there, and then Tyner went up at Placerville at the final Civil War race at Placerville, and kudos to Andy Forsberg, seventh title.
Pretty amazing for Andy. Tied for the Silver Dollar Speedway Championship, won the Placerville title and the Civil War title, so another strong year for Andy.
Just keeps getting better, doesn't it?
Keeps getting better.
Hey, Gary, this Kyle Larson kid, I think we're a little familiar with
We've
him.
heard of him a time or two.
Winning the K&N Pro Series race in Kentucky this past weekend, and then went to Eldora for a midget race.
Flew on the Tony Stewart corporate jet, won the midget race of 9th, put the Silver Crown car on the pole, so pretty impressive for Kyle. Of course, the sprint car main event didn't quite go as well.
Vicious accident, little dizzy when he got released from the ambulance, decided to sit out the Silver Crown race, but still two wins in one day. It's not bad.
Pretty impressive for Kyle. Like I say, definitely happy that he's okay. And next up, we're going to go into an interview with a couple of my mentors. Of course, yourself, George Hay, conducted an interview earlier today with Silver Dollar Speedway communications guru Troy Hennig. Let's check it out.
Well, fans, on the phone with us now, the voice of the Silver Dollar Speedway, Troy Hennig. Troy, welcome to the show.
Hey, George, thanks a lot, man.
Well, we called to talk about Silver Dollar Speedway, and you had quite a 2012 season.
You know, we did. The 410 wing sprint cars were up this year. We had a good series. You know, the highlight of the year probably had to be the final Friday night when Sean Becker and Andy Forsberg went into the final night of points. Becker ends up tying with Forsberg for the championship, but because Sean had 3 wins to Andy's 1 win, Sean Becker was the 2012 champion of the Speedway. Not only that, but he built on that, I think, George, as we saw in the Gold Cup. And what a Gold Cup Sean Becker had. I mean,
wow.
Everyone talked about Larson, but to see Sean win and then to finish 3rd on Saturday night was something that, you know, we call Larson a local, but when it comes down to it, I mean, Becker is as local as you can get growing up in Oroville.
I mean,
you're
track champion for 2012. He is definitely a fan favorite, and he wins a preliminary night at Gold Cup. I mean, it doesn't hardly get much better than that. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Bradway in 2012. Again, it was another outstanding Dave Bradway Memorial race.
Yeah, it was. Great car count as usual. It was amazing to see how many people had camped this year. We definitely had more campers. It seemed like there was a bigger vibe about the Bradway. And but when it's all said and done, you know, a familiar face in Victory Lane, Jonathan Allard. And, you know, talk about another hometown guy, you know, born and raised in Chico, grew up cutting his teeth at the Silver Dollar Speedway. And for some reason, and some people have said, you know, if there's a guy that drives like Dave Bradway Jr., you could look at John Allard. And for him to keep winning this race in honor of Dave Bradway Jr. is quite the testament to Jonathan Allard. And I've been told by many people that, you know, he's not exactly like the driving style of Dave Bradway Jr., but he's about as close as we have nowadays to what Dave used to do. And when he wins that race year after year after year, I think it's quite a testament to not only Dave Bradway Jr., but, to John Allard also.
I want to get to Gold Cup because it was a memorable Gold Cup indeed. The local guys did pretty well. I think out of nine podium finishers, or 6 of them are California.
Yeah, it's always nice. You and I and Gary growing up on the West Coast here, you hear so much about the Pennsylvania Posse and how great they are. And, when the Outlaws go there, their success rate. But, looking at this year, the Gold Cup, and then continuing on to Antioch and seeing what, possibly Jonathan Allard should have won, and then Tim Kading to win it. Just the whole swing was memorable in my mind for California drivers, especially the Gold Cup. Of course, we're probably going to remember Kyle Larson for dominating on Saturday night, but you're right. There were a lot of local guys that ended up having a great Gold Cup. George, I can't remember a previous Gold Cup where we've had as much local flavor as we did this year. Do you remember?
No, it was great. I mean, and I spent some time down with the campers. I spent some time down in the Breezeway area with some of the vendors, and it was an event again.
We changed a lot of things, which is great. We still have to work on some things, but to do the kickball game on Saturday was a huge event. $37,000 was just a great amount of money to raise for the Jeff Gordon Foundation.
But then Jeff matched that, so it was like $74,000.
Yeah, I mean, amazing. And there's things like that motivate you, not only for the children's part of it, but when you have someone close to you. I was really dedicated to that thing to try to raise awareness and money, and I love doing it, George. It was a great experience for me. I hope we get to do it again next year.
20th annual Fall Nationals coming up here this weekend. And I think this is probably going to be the biggest car count of the year anywhere in the state of California. It's looking to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, we have entries from all over already.
Even Hawaii. I read that today, Hawaii.
Team Freitas, yeah, isn't that guy great? He always seems to come over and support some races at Silver Dollar Speedway. A great car count as always. We've already got entry forms, Tim Kading, John Allard, Rico Abreu, some of the best here around locally. We also have the wingless sprints we're bringing in, but I mean, ultimately, the Fall Nationals is all about the wing 360s. Of course, 2 nights of racing. As of now, I put out, we're going to have 2 individual shows.
$40,000 up for grabs, and I think it's $5,000 to win on Saturday night. That's a darn good 360 show.
It's a good 360 show, and I think you and I talking about Gold Cup. The mojo, the momentum's back at Silver Dollar Speedway, and I think drivers and teams that said, yeah, we're going to Fall Nationals now because, the Gold Cup track held up, was good, was racy, had a top and bottom, had a big cushion. Got to end on a good note, and hopefully we'll be back stronger and better than ever in March of 2013. And hopefully we'll get to see the KWS cars here next year and have continued success with you guys.
So we look forward to it. KWS looks forward to coming up to Silver Dollar Speedway. It's one of our favorite places to come, and I will see you Saturday at the race up there at Fall Nationals.
I hope to see Gary then, and then I'll see you Saturday. But I think real quick in closing, the King of the West Series this year, you guys honestly have done a great job. It's not easy to do what you guys do and promote the heck out of a series. 410 Sprints is back better than ever in California because of you and Gary and obviously Dan, but you have to go through day and day with not only the drivers but the promoters, the fans. It's a big task, and I hope everyone out there realizes how lucky they are to have you guys there.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, and again, you guys keep up the good work up there, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, thanks for the time.
Troy Hennig, Silver Dollar Speedway announcer and media guru, and we'll be back right after this.
Well, everyone, when you think about good people in the sport of sprint car racing, you got to definitely take a look at Troy Hennig. Just a great guy all around, a great family. He and wife Kylie, the 2 daughters. He's always been kind of a mentor to myself, so we definitely love having him come on the show whenever possible. Next up, we're going to go into our highlight package from the July 7th Howard Kading Classic at Watsonville's Ocean Speedway, a great main event. Sacramento. In the Holy Smokes Barbecue AIC powder coating Christian Stover Foundation number 29, Double Down Willie Ross. Ladies and gentlemen, Antonio King of the West Sprint Car Series getting into four-wide formation. This is their chance to salute each and every one of you and thank you for coming out to tonight's program here at the Ocean Speedway. In return, we'd like you to stand up, wave your arms, and make some noise. 22 of the best unlimited 410 sprint car drivers in the Western United States. Here at the second annual Howard Cajun Classic, this is the best of the West, your King of the West Sprint Car Series on parade at the second annual Howard Cajun Classic at the Ocean Speedway, Watsonville. Over in turn number 4, hammers come down. Racing in turn number 1, Tarleton on the bottom, Suggs at the top. Tarleton slides across the groove. It's going to be Tarleton leading the field with Allard in second. John Allard, nice start to get up to the runner-up position. Ocean Speedway point leader Shane Golovic on the bottom. Tarleton on the top, Allard in the middle as they come by to complete lap 5. Tarleton now gets to the top side, to the 21, back to the lead. Shane Golovic right there in third. Golovic finds the moisture down low, takes second. Move the 121 at the second. Allard back in third. Tarleton, your leader, with a quick 6 laps down. Lap traffic will be coming into play. Tarleton bounces off the cushion. Golovic on the bottom, off turn 4, side by side. Shane Golovic, your new leader. Shane Golovic looking first challenge Tarleton to the third spot. In traffic, Tarleton back to the outside of Allard down the backstretch, wheel to wheel. Tarleton on the top side, they split Pat Harvey. Allard able to hang on. Oh, and Kyle Hurst into the wall, that's going to be Kyle Hurst. Issues there in turn number 1, luckily able to keep the car on all fours, comes to rest on the K-rail. Allard now another big run on 1 and 2. John Allard takes the lead. Jonathan Allard running the top side to perfection. Shane Golovic running the low line. As they come by the complete lap number 16, John Allard, your new leader. He does so right about the middle. Let's see what Shane Golovic right with him. Allard, Golovic, and Tarleton 3 wide for the lead off turn 2. Shane Golovic, big run. Allard trying to stay with him on the high side. Golovic on the bottom. Tarleton hits the cushion hard. And leading in lap number 19 will be Shane Golovic. Rounding 3 and 4 for lap number 22. Golovic continues to lead. Looking for his second career 410 Wing Sprint Car win. John Allard chasing him in second. Then Peter Murphy, Tommy Tarleton, and Jason Stafford round out your top 5. Heading into turn 1 and 2, Golovic and Allard side by side. It'll be Allard taking the lead. John Allard, a muscle move, puts number 0 on the cushion, gets back around Golovic. Here at 23 laps down, Golovic going to try to keep him right in his sights. Here comes Tommy Tarleton now in third, trying to challenge Golovic for the runner-up spot. As Kyle Hurst has gotten to fifth, Allard makes a mistake. Allard missed his mark, but Shane Golovic and Tommy Tarleton side by side for third. Kyle Hurst around Peter Murphy for fourth. Kyle Hurst in the rear of the field, back to fourth in the Roth 83. As the white flag been coming out this time by for Jonathan Allard. Shane Golovic right there in second. Tarleton third, Hurst fourth, and Peter Murphy fifth. As the leaders race down the back straightaway for the final time, into turns 3 and 4. Picking up his first career 410 win at Ocean Speedway. It'll be John Allard. Well, everyone, heavyweight John Allard. Back maiden event winner here at the Ocean Speedway, Watsonville. Tonight, your 4th win of the season, Jonathan, but first ever 410 victory here at Ocean Speedway. Got to be a pretty special feeling for you. Of course, the Howard Cajun Classic was a special race for all of us. Congratulations.
I'll tell you what, the Kading family has done more for me behind the scenes than any other family in racing. I dedicate this to Duke McMillan. You know, he means a lot to me, and he passed away last week, and drove for him for quite a few years and learned a lot of the stuff that I'm putting to use today. But best wishes to his family, and you know, it means a lot to me. My guys have had a hard couple of weeks. They haven't given up on me, and to come down to the Howard Kading Classic, it means so much. Brent's a hero of mine, so is Howard, and the whole Kading family. We treasure him, but thank you guys for coming out.
Welcome back to King of the West tonight, and what a great Howard Kading Classic from Ocean Speedway, Watsonville. Jonathan Allard picking up his 4th win of the year, but it was Shane Gullebeck all over the back of that 0 for most of the race. I thought Shane was going to get him, and had to settle for a 3rd place finish. But a great race, a great HK Classic. Looking forward to another HK Classic in 2013. Right now, let's go to the interview that our buddy Gary Thomas did with Willie Croft.
Well, on the line right now, we have the driver that sits right on the cusp of the top 5 in the King of the West Series point standings, a former winner of the prestigious Mini Gold Cup, Willie Croft. Hey, thanks a bunch for coming on with us, Willie. We always love getting a chance to talk to you.
Thank you, Gary. Love being on the show.
You know, we've had a pretty long break right now, so I'm sure you've enjoyed spending some time with the family, and I think Cole has a birthday coming up soon?
Yeah, actually, next month on the 10th will be his first birthday. Well, actually, his 1-year-old birthday party, and yeah, pretty excited about it. He's grown up so fast. It's been really crazy, but, you know, really good at the same time.
Now, you've also been playing car owner the last couple of weeks, so, you know, what's it like watching your car out there with someone else in it?
It's actually pretty cool. I mean, I didn't know how it was going to go the first time I did it, which was last year with Justin Cox, and it wasn't as bad as I thought. You know, the funny thing is I still get nervous and pumped up at the same time, just as if I was driving the car, you know, with Zimmerly starting on the front row Saturday night. You know, I was just as nervous and pumped up at the same time and felt a lot of pressure trying to make sure the car was good for him. It's just as much pressure as it is, you know, trying to drive the car as well when I'm doing it. But, no, unfortunately, we jumped the start and had to restart 7th and, you know, just maintain that. But I think, you know, if everything would have went okay, we probably would have ran the top, you know, 3 or 4 without a problem. But it is what it is, and, you know, it's just kind of a learning deal. And I didn't even know. I learned Sunday that was actually his best finish up there was 7th. So, you know, he's a really good driver and has done a lot in the sprint car, but just Pottsville is one of those tracks where it takes a little while to get used to.
Right,
it takes
right.
finesse. And, you know, at certain points of the race, it takes finesse, and so he's come along, you know, with that place, and he's learning. So, but no, I'm really happy with what he's done so far in the couple of races he's ran.
Yeah, for sure. It's been cool to see Zach back in the seat, but I know we're excited to see you back in the seat October 13th, the Cotton Classic. You're in a very close points battle with Jason Statler and Bobby McMahon, so I'm sure you have to be pretty eager to get back in the seat.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous as well, just because I haven't been in the car for a few weeks. You know, I ran the Wednesday night show at Gold Cup, and that's the last time I got the race. So I know Jason went down to Hanford to get a little seat time down there, supposedly tune his 360 in for Trophy Cup. But that's just one more advantage he's going to have. You know, just been there lately and kind of know what to expect, I guess, in a few weeks when we get there. But, you know, it's almost like riding a bike. You know, you've been off for a little while, but it comes right back to you. But, you know, the funny thing is I'm freaking fighting for 5th place again with Statler, just like last year, and he ended up beating me out for that position. Hopefully this year I'll turn things around that night and run top 5.
That is pretty amazing. Kind of led to my next question. You know, last year you went into the finale 6 points behind Statler. Now you're only 3 back. But since you're in a close battle, is Hanford a track that you like to go to and feel comfortable at?
I do. I love Hanford, especially when it gets slick. You know, last time we were there, we were pretty good. I don't remember exactly what happened. or how we finished, but I thought it was a pretty decent night. I think we won the heat race that night, and maybe ran 6th or something like that. I don't quite remember, but as you get older, you kind of lose your memory a little bit. But you know, it is one of the better tracks for me, I think. Anything that's a little slick or a little bit longer straightaway, you know, I tend to do a little better at.
Now, we've talked about it before, but earlier in the year you had a bit of tough luck at certain points that cost you some points. And the last time we had you on the show, you said your goal was to get back up to the top 5. Are you surprised at all, though, that you've been able to claw your way right back up there and be right on the cusp of the top 5?
I'm a little surprised, and at the same time, you know, I know we're capable of it, and that's what bothers me the most, is just getting caught up in other people's wrecks or having something happen, you know, within myself or my car. It's just really disturbing. I feel like my car and myself are a top 5 team no matter what.
Sure.
And to be struggling or, you know, clawing my way just to get in top 5 is really disappointing to me. But you know what? It's part of it. I know it's racing. Things happen. I'm just fortunate enough to be able to even do this. You know, there's a lot of people that can't do it. So I don't want to sit here and complain about it. But you know, I guess I have higher expectations, and when things don't go right, I kind of get down on myself pretty bad. So.
Hey, you know, we've loved having you on the tour the last couple of years. We know it's not easy, so before we let you go, we'd always like to give you a chance to plug your sponsors and supporters.
You know what? I was going to write all my sponsors down, and I forgot, but I'm going to try my best here. Of course, you know, Dave Wozni with Holy Smokes Barbecue and Wozni Ranch, K&N Hair Filters, and Brown and Miller Plumbing, Jeannie at or not Jeannie, Jeannie, sorry, at Henchman, Butler Built Seats, Jeannie at Butler Built, and Nancy at Henchman. They're great people, helped me out quite a bit. Redline Oil, when it gets to this, I struggle so bad, but anyways, everybody helps me, and all the new people that came on board this year, just really appreciate it, and hopefully we can finish out the year strong for them.
Well, for sure. Like I say, it's been a lot of fun having you on board the last couple of years, and I definitely want to thank you for joining us tonight and wish you the best of luck not only this week in the Fall Nationals as a car owner, but also as a driver on October 13th.
Yeah, thank you. And just a quick reminder, we were able to get Zimmerly in to the Trophy Cup as well, so there's another additional 29 car out there running, and hopefully he can do good, and we can battle up there towards the front, you know, on Saturday night in the main event.
Hey everyone, you just saw an interview from Sacramento, California's Willie Croft, one of the most exciting drivers in the entire state of California, I'd have to say. Always one of the top qualifiers and a guy that we love having on tour with the King of the West Sprint Car Series. Well, next up, we're going to head into our Kading Performance Flashback this week, the 2006 Pombo Sargent Classic at the Thunderbolt Raceway in Tulare, the first ever Pombo Sargent Classic at the Thunderbolt.
Well, Jonathan Allard with 9 fast times. He also has the most heat race wins with 6. And he always has to start out on the outside of row number 3. So a tough road for Jonathan Allard if he's going to win this one. Some heavy competition out in front. Dennis Moore Jr. looking to go way up on the high side, but it is Matt Shelton with the good start. Malou into that second spot. And they're 3 wide and 2. Oh, upside down hard is Tommy Tarleton. Big time roll over Garrett Ishii over 3-4 times. A double flip on the back straightaway. And Tommy Tarleton looked like he is wanting to get out of that 21 car. Ladies and gentlemen, about ready to go green. Jonathan Allard and Blake Robertson on the point for Rhea and Kading in row 2. Ronnie Day instead of in row 3. Kading up the outside, making it 3 wide at the start. And it's Jonathan Allard with the good start. Down the back straightaway, Kading up on the high side, trying to get around Blake Robertson. Ronnie Day fifth. And your leader, Jonathan Aller, all by himself, spins in turn 2, dropping back to 4th spot. And Mike Faria looking to pick up a big one here in his hometown. He gets up alongside here at the start-finish line. Kading has found something up on the high side. He goes around the outside of Blake Robertson. They're side by side down the back straightaway. Drag race into 3. BK runs the top of the cushion. A problem with Mike Faria, bounces off the cushion, and BK takes the lead on lap number 20. Kading in traffic, trying to get around to her. Here comes Blake Robertson once again behind Brent Kading. Robertson, traffic in front of Roberts. He crashes, drives through 2 red cars. Red flag is out. He is down the back straightaway. He is flying. They've got that Alzorific supply car hooked up, and BK smiling inside the helmet. His first win of the season. Brent Kading picks up the win here at the Pombo Sargent. Second goes to Blake Robertson. With Tommy Tarleton on the point, along with Jason York in that 25. Dennis Moore Jr., Craig Stidham make up row number 2. Robert Ballou and Ronnie Day in row 3. We hear the RPMs come up. Green flag is out, and we are underway. It's a drag race into turn number 1. They are side by side, and Jason York goes to the up over a wheel. There's our fast qualifier, Ronnie Day. Upside down in turn number 1, Ronnie Day, our fast qualifier.
He's on his 2 feet. Ronnie, how are you?
I'm all right. It's just unfortunate we got some squirrels out here that trying a little too hard. We'll try and get back together and see if we can get back in it.
Ricky Faria, Kyle Hurst, bring them down off of turn number 4. Danny Faria looks to go to the inside of Hurst in turn number 1, looking for that second spot. And your third, fifth, quick qualifier, Steve Kent, is in the 5th spot. Here comes Blake Robertson in that yellow 15. Going for second, 3 wide off of turn 4. And it looks like Hollywood. Danny Faria moves into second, but here comes Kyle Hurst back on the top side. They're side by side down the back. 3 wide on the back straightaway. Hold on, anything's gonna happen. And it's Blake Robertson into second. He gets a push, he gets spun around by Kyle Hurst. Does he keep it running? No. 6 laps, and this determines the top 4 rows of the A feature. And Robert Ballou with a bold move up on the high side, trying to take the lead away from, what a crossover by Robert Ballou to take the lead away from Dennis Moore Jr. Here comes Jonathan Allard up alongside of Ballou. Brent Kading is 3rd, Dennis Moore Jr. is 4th. This time, a little bobble by Ballou. This time it is, it's a dead heat at the line. Anybody's race. Let's see if Ballou can pick up the pace in 2. He gets the big push off of 2. They're still side by side. They touch wheels, they crash, they're both stopped in turn 3. Ballou up in the wall, Allard keeps it running. Jonathan Allard pulls off the racetrack. Kent way up high in the loose stuff. Kenny gets the push, he does. Steve Kent will finish 2nd, Dennis Moore 3rd.
We'll see what happens. The track's quite a bit slicker, and we're going to be moving all over the place tonight.
The OK of Dennis Moore Jr. and Sean Becker in row 2, Allard and Faria in row 3 as we get ready to go 30 laps. The Pombo Sargent Classic here at Tulare. Kading all over the front straightaway. Kent goes to the inside. Kading stays to the high side. And we got a car tangled. It looks like it's Allard and Ballou. Ballou and Allard getting together in the dash. Now both cars involved in turn number 2. Kading and Kent. Kading a little squirrely on the front straightaway on that last start. This time Kent wants to push off. He loses big time trying to go up high. And let's see if Dennis Moore Jr. can make it pay off staying on the bottom of the racetrack. Dry and slippery in 1 and 2. Everybody gets by this time. Keep your eye on Robert Ballou and Jonathan Allard having to come from the back of the pack. Allard trying to move through the field, trying to get around Kyle Hurst. We've got a crash in turn 3. Kyle Hurst and Jonathan Allard also involved again in turn 3 and 4. Allard bends up the wing on the 0. Number 69, Brent Kading gingerly taking it into 3, puts the power down off of 4. Twin checkered flags for Brent Kading. Back-to-back wins. Ronnie Day is second.
His name is Brent Kading, and he's talking to Ronnie Day. The 2 old farts up front.
That's what makes us keep on going, keep digging. You know, the younger guys keep getting better and better, and us older guys got to keep standing.
Hey, what a great Pombo Sargent Classic 2006 edition. Want to thank Grove Hill for another great Kading flashback moment. And Brent Kading picking up 2 races in the same weekend. He was definitely on a roll to sweep the Pombo Sargent Classic. Also, we had a heated race both on and off the racetrack with Jonathan Allard and Robert Ballou. Got on and on the racetrack and had a little tussle in the pits as well. So it was an exciting weekend at Tulare Thunderbolt Speedway for the Pombo Sargent Classic in 2006. Next up, another one of those great interviews by Gary Thomas, this time with Double Z Zach Zimmerly.
Well, just a couple years ago, the young man on the phone with us now made a huge splash on the 410 sprint car scene in California, and for some time away from the seat, he has returned over the last couple of weeks. It's none other than Super Z Zach Zimmerly. Hey, Zach, you know, we've really missed you the last couple of years, or the last year or so, so thanks for joining us on King of the West tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Now, what have you been doing up there in the Northwest to stay in racing shape? You been doing any go-kart racing or anything like that?
Well, been going to like an indoor go-karting track with my buddies, but that's about it. So not a whole lot of racing, just focused on school, and got high school finished up and graduated this last year, and now that out of high school, I'm ready to go racing again. So, that's what I'm trying to do, trying to put together, some different races with some different people and trying to get some stuff going for next year. So.
Well, the last couple of weeks we've returned to the seat, as we said, and scored finishes the 7th and 10th. So what were your thoughts on those first couple of races?
Well, I was actually really surprised by our first race. I wasn't expecting to do that well. The cobwebs were still there, obviously, the whole night, and, this last weekend a little bit, but, I was just surprised that we were able to, kind of adapt to the car as quick as I did, and just getting that heat race win and being able to move through the A main and making the A main and being able to move through it, was a huge confidence booster, and then this last weekend was, it was a real good race to run. I mean, just because the track was so much different from Petaluma. Petaluma was, much more wet and tacky, and, Placerville was a little bit more dry, and you just kind of had to search for the grip a little bit. And it was just a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to be back in the car.
Now then, of course, you fast forward to 2010, your most recent year in a sprint car, and it was just tremendous for you, including becoming the youngest winner in Golden State King of the West history when you won over at Chico. And that was just 1 month after your 16th birthday, so that has to be a night that you'll never forget.
Oh, yeah, no, my dad recorded that on video, so I still watch it even today. It's just a fun race to watch, and I remember just, that pass going by Brent Kading for the lead. I'll never forget that for my first victory. So, that was a lot of fun. And, we were really fast that night, and I hope that we can get a few more King of the West victories next year. So.
Now that win in Chico was a springboard to winning the Western Speedway title that same weekend, and also included runner-up finishes every night at Dirt Cup. Do you still look back at that and think how amazing it was that you were able to put so much success together in 1 week at just 16 years of age?
Yeah, it was crazy. It's just, 2 years ago, I just couldn't believe that I was able to do that well, and, at Dirt Cup, and because the year before, we didn't do that well up there, and then just to come back the next year and do as well as we did was huge. So, we just had a real good team, and we just had a whole lot of good communication during that week, and we were just on top of our game. So.
Now you also have quite the resume from an early age, so can you let the fans out there know what type of racing you did prior to sprint cars, because I know it was pretty extensive.
Yeah, my first ever racing I ever did was in go-karts down here in Oregon, and then we kind of just went to Region 7, big IKF series in California for the go-karts, and then from there kind of moved to micro sprints on the dirt and ran those for a couple of years, and then went out and did some legend cars out all over the East Coast, did that for 2 years. Lived back there in North Carolina with my two mechanics for 2 years with them. So that was a whole lot of fun. And then, I just decided I wanted to race sprint cars because, I love the dirt. Racing the micro sprints was a lot of fun. And I just think, it's the most fun racing for me. And so we just decided, to go sprint car racing. And that's where we're at today.
It's going to be great seeing you. I just talked to Willie, and he said he talked to Dave Pusateri over at Trophy City. It looks like he got an entry into Trophy Cup, so I know we're going to be excited to see you there.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I'll be excited to see everybody there. Be excited racing in that show again. So.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, thanks for coming on with us tonight, bud. It's great to have you back in action, and best of luck this weekend at the Fall Nationals. We're looking forward to seeing you.
Okay, thank you, Gary.
Welcome back, everyone, to King of the West Tonight, and you just heard some words with young rising star Zach Zimmerly, George, a guy that really set the world on fire a couple years ago.
It's amazing to hear him. He's still a young rising star, and he took a year off to finish up school, and he's, 18, 19 now, Gary?
18 now, yeah.
18 years old. When he was winning races, he was 16, 17, so yeah, I'm glad to have him back on the scene here in California, and he's going to be racing at the Fall Nationals and the Trophy Cup, we heard, and still looking for a ride for the last KWS race at Hanford. But yeah, Zach Zimmerly, there's a kid that he could follow, I think, in the same footsteps as Kyle Larson.
Yeah, what he did that year, I think it was 2010 at the Dirt Cup, second place all 3 nights. I don't think that's ever happened before. And he actually took the lead for at one point from Shane Stewart and Yellow come out. Zach Zimmerly did a great job at the Dirt Cup that year. Just phenomenal.
Yeah, 3 second place finishes, even had the lead temporarily until the yellow flag came out. The kid is on fire, and look for him to bring that back to California.
Definitely excited to have him back. You know what else I'm excited about?
The banquet.
The banquet. November 9th is our kickoff party. November 10th is our King's Banquet and car show and model car show. And then, of course, Sunday is our general business meeting.
Yeah, I'm glad you got that down. You got it down in the right order now.
At the Jackson Rancheria Casino Resort.
Absolutely. And we keep telling folks that the hotel rooms, at 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 a week, keep getting booked up. When they're gone, they're gone. And if you want a room, you got to call 209-223-1677. Book your rooms early. We have a limited allotment of rooms at the hotel. If you don't get them early, you're going to be downtown driving, a couple of miles up to the car show or the banquet or the general meeting on Sunday or the kickoff party on Friday. So you want to stay. It's great to stay right at the hotel. It's all right there. The funds, the games, the hotels, everything we're doing in conjunction with the banquet, all right there at the hotel.
And of course, to buy your tickets, contact the King of the West Series office at 707-374-2222. You got to get your tickets because they're starting to sell fast.
Absolutely. Talking about getting tickets early, the Cotton Classic is not that far away. We're about 2.5 weeks now, October 13th. And tickets are on sale at the Hanford box office at 559-584-7223. Once again, the Hanford box office, 559-584-7223.
And I know Scott Woodhouse down at King Speedway is really excited for the Cotton Classic. They had a great show this past Saturday night, and the Cotton Classic is always a fun show, George, but we're really excited about the car count. It looks like we're going to have 30-plus cars for that, and it's going to be one of the best Cotton Classics in recent memory.
Yeah, we're getting calls almost every day now from somebody saying they're coming down to the Cotton Classic. We haven't run for a couple of weeks. The motor's fresh. We're good to go. We've got time off work, those sort of things. So I think the finale this year is going to be exciting. Mark it on your schedule, on your calendar, October 13th. The place to be, Hanford, California, King Speedway, Cotton Classic.
And I think that's just about the end of our show tonight, George. We definitely want to thank Troy Hennig, Zach Zimmerly, and Willie Croft for calling in and giving us some words from their thoughts on how the season's gone, and it's been a lot of fun.
And if you want to keep track of the King of the West, you can contact us on our website at kingofthewestsprints.com.
Or you can check us out on Facebook, like us on Facebook at facebook.com/King of the West Sprints, or become a Twitter follower at KWS Sprint Racing.
And email, you can email us at kwsseries@yahoo.com, or you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You just click right here at Gary's head, and we'll be good to go.
I think you can stay so connected to us just about anywhere on the internet.
I think we're the best connected race series in the country.
We tried the best we can. We definitely want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight. My name's Gary Thomas. That's George Haig, and we'll see you this weekend at the Fall Nationals.
And Mr. Tyner picking up a win at Forsberg. There we go. Okay, let's do the California winners over
California winners over again. So Zach Zimmerly made some great hay. That didn't work. Yeah, probably about 5,000. New.
Oh, 3D. It's KWS Tonight in 3D. Welcome back.